It's another week, and I have another stack of comics. Let's go ahead and dive in and see what I got. Hi, this is James from Read More Comics. Please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be going through my polls, so if there's something that attracted your attention or a book that you got that I did not, please mention it. Hit the bell in the corner. These are all from my LCS. I'm sorry my dog is looking at the neighborhood. There's some kids playing out front. My LCS down in beautiful Mishawaka, Indiana, BuyMeToys.com. Casey and Kelly are the proprietors, and I just love the customer service there. I'm hoping maybe sometime I'll do a kind of walkthrough video. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive in, and I'm going to confess I'm behind in reading my comic books. This is the stack I've been reading this morning. They've been all Ghost Machine books, and so some of these titles I have not gotten to yet. Okay, they're on there. I have a short box right down here. How full is it? It's pretty full. I guess about 100 books that I'm behind, which means some of these titles I wait until I have 3 or 4 months worth of books piled up. Now here's the catch-22. If it's a good title, it's not a big deal, but if it's a title that maybe I want to cancel, we'll kind of approach that as we go through. First one is not one I want to cancel, though I haven't read any of the new volume. This is Fantastic Four. This is the Roberto Ramos cover. I just like the quirkiness of this cover. It seems very Halloween-esque. I have no idea what's going on in it, other than clearly the first family is posing for a family photo. I haven't read any of the issues of the new volume. I went all the way to the end, which kind of, and this is something, I'll be honest, I don't like when Marvel does it. They did the same thing with Dan Slott's Silver Surfer, where it's like, here we have a single volume, but we're going to split it in half, and there's going to be no difference between what we did and what's happening now, other than we're renumbering things. Ryan North has been doing a phenomenal job on this, and Roberto Ramos, we have a new artist on the book, which, you know, as you can tell from the A cover, is fantastic. So I'm looking forward to reading this, and probably over the weekend I'll get caught up with this. This book, however, is one of those that I've been on the fence with the entire time. This is Hornsby and Halo, issue number 11. Really cool Headless Horseman cover. And it's interesting, I looked around online, the tempo, the beats that we get in this book compared to Peter Tomasi's other Ghost Machine book, Rockefellers, is very different. And I don't know what's happening. You know, I wish there was some insight into the scripting for this book. Is it a scripting issue? Is it something else? The premise is cute, and I've been enjoying elements of the story. The last couple issues have been good because, and I just got caught up with this morning. It's been good because we've had a different artist, and I think the artist is kind of filling things in. Sorry, my dog is going. Get down there. Lay down. He is something else. So anyway, that's kind of case in point, kind of the juxtapose of here's a series that I'm on the fence about and I'm wondering, should I keep pulling it? And then here's a series I have not read in months, and I'm totally fine having a subscription to it because I know Ryan North is killing it. Everything in this series has been good. Well, the volume before it. Next up, here is another book I haven't gotten to yet. However, it has all the reasons to be an awesome book. This is Immortal Legend Batman, issue number 3. This is the Derek Chew variant cover. It's one of the titles I am pulling variants. I've noticed I've begun moving towards just getting the A covers because I like the trade dress. The artists are honestly really good artists, where with this one, because it's a short run series, I'm totally cool with kind of picking and choosing. What I like about this cover, you know, there's such growth in Derek Chew from 5 years ago. Check that out. So anyway, and then we have Justice League Unlimited. This is a DC K.O. tie-in. It tells you right up at the top. Issue number 12. This is a Dan Mora cover. This is an awesome series. It reminds me of the Justice League animated series. I mentioned that before. There's a lot of characters they're pulling in. They just finished with this kind of time jumpy story. The only caveat I have, I wish when they're doing that, because Justice League Unlimited is connecting with Superman and it's connecting with World's Finest and some other stories. I wish up here in the corner they bring the triangle back, or in the inside they go, here's a checklist, here's how you should read these. Though the editors have been pretty good about telling you, hey, this is happening over here. It's not really a big bad, but a what's the word I want to look for? It's kind of like a anti-hero. That's the word I'm looking for. Anti-hero has been Time Trapper, which is actually futuristic Doomsday, who somehow trying to protect the timeline or whatever like that. So that was a really cool arc, but it connected to some Superman stories that I hadn't read, and I'd been pulling Superman because it was connecting with, because they were doing what was it? It was a 3-issue arc focusing on Darkseid's Legion, where he corrupted the futuristic Legion of superheroes, and it's really good. I wish I knew, hey, here's the issue, here's the backstory. Go back and get these issues of Superman or whatever. Anyway, so this has been a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying this. Highly recommend it. And Dan Mora has been killing it. Is he doing the art on this? Yes. Okay, Mark Waid is doing the writing. He is a sage of the DC Universe. Dan Mora on art is incredible. We have issue number 39, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, dealing with backlash from Ultimate Incursion. This is one of those books where, again, I just pull the A cover. If there's an alternate, a variant cover that isn't a ratio, because Marvel has a lot of ratios. If it's not a ratio, I'll swap it out, and I've done that. There was a Marvel Zombie cover, and for a moment I thought about it, but one thing I do like between DC and Marvel, when you get the variants here, this one right here, for an extra $1 you get cardstock. Here you get their same paper, which at least it's not as cheap as it was, or maybe the printing's better. Let's see, when I first started collecting, so this was when Marvel was, it was the all new. If you touched the paper, you'd be pulling ink off of it with your fingers. So it's better, right? Anyway, Cody Ziegler's run on Miles Morales has been phenomenal. This is an incredible Spider-Man story. I've waited to get all of these issues before I read Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, so I'm going to hold off until reading this, and I'm going to do a review of Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, and then kind of jump to this. But I'm hoping that there's some seeds to future stories. Cody Ziegler's been really good about sewing together stories from other things that are happening. And that's been really cool to see. He does a lot of like, they're not really crossovers, but the crossovers. The Black Panther crossover was really good to see Miles Morales find another mentor in how to be a superhero. That was cool, which led to that crossover with the gods, with Ares and Hercules and all that, which has led to, well, there was kind of this little story I haven't finished. I think I'm an issue 2 behind, with White Cat and Anari. which kind of a Yakuza vibe to it, which was cool. So I've enjoyed what they've been doing here. Instead of Cody Ziegler trying to tell this cohesive 39 issue story where we're doing something, it's more akin to what Ryan North's doing, where each issue is a compact beginning, middle, and end story. These are just a handful of issues, and I've been enjoying that, kind of like chapters or seasons. Next up, we have New History of the DC Universe. This is issue number 4. Gorgeous cover by Dan Mora. This is the variant cover. I went with this because it's John Kent when he was in the Super Sons. The issue before that, I pulled the variant with Damian Wayne. Super Sons is such an incredible story. If you've not read that, I recommend that. I recommend Peter Tomasi, his Superman run, which kind of interwove some of the nuances to the story. Just an incredible Superman story. I have not read any of these, so a little behind. I have read this. This is a Hyde Street miniseries, issue number 4 out of 5. This is a variant. I am not sure who's doing the variant, so I'm going to open it up right now. Okay, so this is the variant cover. This is cover B by Clara Meth. Check that out. So this has been a really fun read. In this, they're introducing in this miniseries the background for Sisterhood, which is one of the denizens of Hyde Street, which in the main storyline has played a role the last couple of issues. So it's kind of cool, instead of dedicating 5 issues to who is she, where'd she come from, all that, here we can have this kind of side story. It's really well done. What is it? Matal Stott is doing writing on it. It's creepy. It's good. So if you have not been reading Hyde Street or any Ghost Machine books, Hyde Street and Sisterhood, or all the spin-offs, have been really good. They've had this one, and then they had another one-shot. So don't remember. It's been a while. I'll put it down here after I get a chance to look at CLZ. We have Robert Kirkman, David Finch. This is issue number 2 of Skinbreaker. This is the B cover by David Finch. And I'm hoping they do these kind of profile shots. I really kind of enjoy the art that comes in on that. I don't know what it is about it. In Ghost Machine, the Rook Exodus did the same thing, where they had helmets, and it was super cool. This is an awesome series. It's a mini series, so if you're trade waiting, this is going to be 8 issues. The art on this, David Finch has done, is incredible. What I've heard is, like, the normal page size, he actually taped 2 together and did it sideways just to get that depth. And he's been working on this series for like 5 or 6 years. You know, the series is done though. Okay, so we're not going to see any lagging in publication. Really cool story to start. We have Superman by Josh Williamson. This is issue number 31, the David Aja cover. Check that out. This is a DC K.O. tie-in. I'll be honest, I just kept ordering these because I love the David Aja work on this. And he only did like the Legion of Darkseid covers. So this was issue 28, 29, and 30. He's doing 31, he's doing 32. So after that, I'll probably stop. But it's just a gorgeous cover. And the Superman story is incredible. So that might be something I go back. Let's see, this is issue. So, I don't know. I might hunt for them in dollar bins. Star Wars Jedi Knights, issue number 8. This is the Torrin Clark cover. You can tell it's Torrin Clark because right down there. One thing that Marvel should do. Here, look at this. Very cool. I've been getting these variant covers where it's kind of the lightsaber variant because I thought it was cool. One thing that DC could learn, or Marvel could learn from, DC puts the the artist's name right here, the cover artist. That would be nice. Anyway, this has actually been a fun book. We're only 8 issues in. I think I'm a couple issues behind, but each issue is very episodic. It's kind of a standalone. There is an overarching something in the background looming there thing. This is pre-Clone Wars, so we are seeing kind of the Jedi Knights at the height of the Republic, I guess. I wouldn't say it's a golden age like the High Republic, but it seems to be the height of their political power. We got Yoda, we have Count Dooku is a Jedi in this still, so that's very cool. And so what we're getting is kind of these episodic adventures. It's a different spin on it in that we're seeing characters that would play a role in the prequel series. No Skywalkers though. And unlike the current volume of Star Wars, they seem to have figured out a formula for this. You just have Jedi go do Jedi things, where the current volume of Star Wars seems to be floundering because, well, the Empire's dead, and they have the sequel movies coming up, but there's enough space. Like the current series starts out just like immediately after the fall of the Empire. And so with this, you have some canon to kind of roll around on. You know what's going to happen down the road, and so you can kind of seed some things. With that, it's like, what, you got 20 years before the First Order shows up, and so who's the bad guy? What, are you going to tell a story about people debating about freedoms? Is it going to be something like that? Is it going to be very political? Is it going to be action based? What's Luke going to be doing? What are all these characters doing? And I feel they're kind of floundering on, like, they're not hitting the beats on that. So this is where, and not a big fan. Well, let me rephrase this. I think there's a place to mine the extended universe, that Disney kind of compartmentalized. And in Star Wars, it would be a place to kind of do that. Like, pull out some ideas, look at what's working, what worked in those stories, and pick some of them out, But anyway, this is a fun book. We have Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 22 by Jonathan Hickman and Marco Cicchetto. This is the A cover. I like the trade dress on the Ultimate books. And I'm bringing that up because the next one is an Ultimate book, but I went with a variant just because of the color patterns. This has been an awesome Spider-Man book. We have 2 more issues left after this one, and then Ultimate Spider-Man is done. I think there is a gap, though, because Ultimate Endgame is supposed to be rolling around. I also thought either in this or it was the next issue, they jumped ahead 3 months, where every issue up to this had been 1 month, and then they're going to jump ahead. I'm not sure why, though. There's also an Ultimate Universe Year 2 book coming out you want to watch out for if you've been reading any of the Ultimate books. I've been reading Ultimate Spider-Man, and that's about it, only because I want to maintain some semblance of restraint on my my polls. And also, and this is to be fair, like, why did I pull this? Because, and this was right before the pandemic, one of my collecting goals was to get all of the Ultimate Spider-Man books, and I was able to do that, and then I got volume 2, and I started getting all the Miles Morales books, and so pulling this is just maintaining that collector OCD completionist thing, which is a real thing. This is Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion issue number 5. This is the B cover. I have no idea who did it, but when you see the book, I hope you see why I had to pull this. Even though I've been pulling the A covers, which look very similar to this, I went with this cover here. Okay. Just the colors, just the purple, and then the halo around Miles Morales' head. It's gorgeous. This is a phenomenal cover. I really enjoy when an artist, a cover artist, will take a single color, and not like a negative space color, but when they'll take a single color and they'll use that as the focal point in their palette. I think it adds, I don't know, an emotion to it. There's a kind of a feng shui quality to it where it just seems to pull together. And I think this is phenomenal work. I'll put down the artist's name right here because this person is gifted. We've got 2 more books left. This Facsimile Edition for the Uncanny X-Men, issue number 140, starring the Wendigo. I pulled this because it's in this issue of Uncanny X-Men that I probably won't ever like hunt for, but it kind of connects some dots because I have some of those early issues, and I mean this is early in the let's see who was doing this, Claremont and I think John Byrne. I don't remember. Anyway, in the Claremont run, and they can be a little pricey, you know, and I like the X-Men, but if I can get this book and it's a gorgeous cover and it has all the same qualities and it only costs me $4.99, I'm gonna do it. So I think this takes me through. I have a pretty good bunch of the Uncanny run in that, like between 100 and 200, including Days of Future Past. I got those as facsimiles also. So anyway, last book, last but not least, Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman. This should have been the first book because they were in alphabetical order. Absolute Wonder Woman, issue number 13. This is a variant cover by David Talaski. That's gorgeous, huh? Check that out. Anyway, if you want to read an absolute book, Absolute Wonder Woman would be the one I'd recommend. It is just a phenomenal story. Eisner Award-winning story. So, anyway, there you go. There are all my books for the week. Please leave a comment if anything stood out. You have any questions? You want to have some conversation about something? That would be awesome. Thank you for watching and listening to me ramble on about comics. Please do hit the like, share, subscribe, hit the bell in the corner. And life is a lot better when we read comics, so don't forget to read more comics.